at the beginning. The next school I'm going to show you in Denmark was inaugurated in 2018. This is the most beautiful school in the world, and I travel a lot and I go to a lot of schools. This is an elementary school. That is an elementary school in Aalstad in Copenhagen. This is how important leadership of the educational system in Copenhagen take education. They invest a lot of money in the design of the building, of how it will look. And inside, phenomenal. You can't believe it. Looks better than some universities in the world. And this is the student hall at the University of Copenhagen. This is where the dormitories where students live. So usually you come to dormitories which are very simple because there's no strong income and basically it's very low rated real estate. Over here in Denmark are so sensitive to design, architecture. Everything looks beautiful and everything is designed as a space that enables good education and good schooling and good teaching. As I mentioned at the beginning of my presentation, I'm the Dean of the School of Design and Innovation. My students are recently just finished a project on designing creative learning spaces in Jerusalem. This project will be open to public, limited public, unfortunately, because of Corona next week in Jerusalem. But I want to show you a few examples of ideas. These, of course, are only pictures. Some of them will be implemented in Jerusalem in the coming years. This is how they think classes, schools, and the public areas inside schools and it should look. Design is very important. Here you can see once again the transparency, the openness of the class is open to the public area. And outside, use of technology and screens and virtual reality and the colors and engagement, turning the school into an area where it can be part of the community in the afternoon and enable the industry to be part of what's happening. They are offering us super innovative and creative designs of how the learning environment and public spaces in schools should look. The third thing I talk about in my paper is the teaching methods. I won't elaborate here too much, but you all agree with me. Obviously, I think that teaching frontal classes is out of mode and irrelevant, and the different potentials of cooperative learning, visual communication, PBL, and so on is much more important. Some schools implement it, some don't implement it. I think it should be something that schools should do more often, and I talk about it in detail inside the paper. And the last thing is evaluation methods. This is basically the most terrible thing I've ever found out in schools. Memorization has enjoyed, as I write over here, a lot of offenders in the past. But its effect is limited and its influence is terrible and is devastating. My daughter finished high school 2 years ago, and the day she finished her last matriculation, she called me, and she was so excited. She said, "Daddy, I finished my last matriculation." And then she said, "And now I can forget all the material." So what the hell did you go to school for? We have to stop memorizing tests. The evaluation methods have to change. We have imagination, which is in our head. We have innovation, which is the result, and we have that muscle called creativity. Schools need to teach creativity. And the only way to do so is to change the curriculum, design learning spaces, implement new teaching methods, and change the way we evaluate students themselves. And the recent outburst of Corona has created a lot of uncertainty for schools. What I did see is that in days when they had no choice, schools went online. So if they want to change, and if the government needs to change and has to change, they can change. This is something that cannot happen anymore. Let me quote, before I end, from the World Economic Forum report. The next big thing for businesses, creativity, was published in 2018 by the World Economic Forum. The paper highlights the importance of creativity and determines to unlock maximum performance, organizations must harness with cognitive diversity and creativity. And that means adding a new voice to the team. I love this word, artist innovator. Wow. Artist elevator, art and innovation. Schools will have to change. I'm sure of that. The only questions are how and to what extent. And I claim in my paper and for the recent 15 years, and as for the when, I think it's now or never. We are running late. And the more complicated things become, like fighting a virus, corona, and there will be more challenges for humankind, we need creative leaders and creative politicians, and we need creative entrepreneurs. We need to start working on it now, because if not, we will find ourselves, I think, in a big problem. Thank you for your kind attention. I hope everybody